What's going on, guys? It's your boy Panda back with another video, and today we got a nice good old Apex gameplay for you playing in the background, and I'm just going to take this time to talk about the season, all the things that I feel like are good, bad, and just my opinions on what's going on with Apex right now. So, of course, you know, each new season brings out a new legend, new battle pass, new weapon usually, and we got a bunch of brand new map changes. Not a bunch, but we've got noticeable map changes. Anyways, let's get right into it. If you like the video, if you enjoy this content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all you guys. And as always, let's get right into it. So, the new legend Seer. When he was talked about being launched, a lot of people said he was going to be overpowered. And I wasn't too sure about it. I thought, hey, let's give it a minute. Because he hasn't even come out yet, you know. And all of the abilities looked decent, like strong abilities, and so that already caught my attention. Because seeing through walls and stuff, you know, we have Bloodhound, and we can't really argue with the fact that we're getting another legend that can kind of compete on the same level with Bloodhound. So that's all cool and everything, but when he released, right, I'm talking this man's abilities are the strongest abilities any legend has had. I feel like he gets his tactical a little bit too soon. Like, he gets his tactical very fast, and what I've been seeing in the Apex community is a lot of people think he can't really be nerfed because the core concept of him is super strong, and the abilities that he has are just very base level, really good, and you can't really just nerf one thing when the whole thing about the character is being able to see all this information about abilities and seeing through walls and information on your enemy. But I like Seer. He's fun. You know, he's been out for about 2 weeks in the game, and you know, being able to play more against him, you know, more people playing with him and stuff. He's kind of calmed down in the scene a little bit because he's not that strong when you think about it. Like, yeah, his tactical is good when it hits someone, but the fact that it has a chance to miss. Bloodhound is still, in my opinion, stronger because his isn't a cone shape. It's a pan outward, and it's got so much width, and it just keeps growing. I think it's like, what, 50 meters or something like that for Bloodhound scan? And so, you know, Seer can go ahead and scan, say, 1 or 2 people, but he has a chance of missing. If Bloodhound does his little tactical, his Q, he's going to be able to see anyone in front of him. Anyone in front of him. So, he's kind of died down a little bit for me in the opinion of how strong he is. He's not, like, super crazy anymore. He's calmed down. I kind of know how to maneuver around him. And his tactical does get annoying when you're fighting multiple of Seer at once. So if you're getting like 8 Seers landing on you, you're going to have a terrible time. You're just going to get flashbanged, stunned. You're not going to be able to heal and res. There are just so many factors that he can, you know, counteract with that tactical. I think they need to, like, kind of take out half of them and choose one. Like, do you want to cancel reses, or do you want to stop them from healing? I think one of those should have been the key factor. You shouldn't have both, because in my eyes that's very strong, and it's not really fun to play a game where being able to outmaneuver your opponent and pop a shield bat is a key factor in the game when a legend completely kind of counterintuitively goes against that. So in Apex, we all know that healing and being able to, you know, go hide behind a door and pop a bat or pop a cell before you get into another fight. You know, you just 1v1'd one of the enemy team, and you need to bat up for the next fight. But you can't do that anymore. Is another thing that I've noticed about it. Is like, you can no longer really 1v3 that easily anymore. You can 1v3 now. You still can 1v3, but it's gotten increasingly harder, seeing as a legend is able to completely counteract you healing in mid-fight. And, you know, there are some teams where there is no seer, and you're able to play that just fine, you know, pop your bats, move good, you know, play fluently around them. When you're playing a seer, though, you have to be a lot smarter about how far you are. You can't really go behind one door and pop a cell, because he's just going to attack you, and you're just not going to get that bat off. And I like him. He's fun to play with, not very fun to play against. And I get it. It could be a whole nother caustic situation, you know, like he's supposed to be annoying to play against, but I don't think he should be a nuisance every time you fight him. Like, if I go against a Bloodhound, I get scanned, I'm like, okay, they know we're here. They're going to probably push or start peeking windows in our building and stuff because they know where we are. But being able to see the exact amount of health, being able to stop them from healing, and cute matched up with the ult that he has, it's pretty strong compared to other legends, and I feel like his release has just pub stomped every other character's pick rate or chance of being picked. Because in this season, it's almost like if you don't have a seer on your team is just gonna get wiped. And I'm not saying it's 100%, but most of the time, if you don't have a seer, you're missing out on something everyone else has, and that's key information, constant awareness of where you're at, where your team's at, where they're going, how far they are, and yeah. So I think the tactical just either needs a bit more time before you can use it, and I think that you should pick between either just canceling reses or canceling healing, because you can't really have both of those. Both of those is crazy fast. And if you do where you just pick, okay, we want to stop reses. Alright, that's crazy, because now you counter, you know, it helps counter lifelines and resing. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't gotten much experimentation with lifeline drone healing and resing. I don't know if it stops that, but it should. And I think you should just have one of those. I definitely don't think he should have a flashbang effect whenever he uses tactical, because I mean that just makes it stronger. You're just stacking on things, and you're making a whole like Gibraltar eight patches in a row character. That's what it feels like. Anyway, moving on to the next thing about Seer, we have his ultimate. And so his ultimate, in my eyes, and my 2 cents on it is immense. You have a giant area covered. It is ungodly on how big his ult bubble is. And I don't necessarily know why they decided to go with such a big bubble, because when you see the thing happen, it takes up like at least 2 buildings in Cap City. It is a huge ult, and if you've been playing Apex, you know, this season, been trying out the new character and stuff, you know how big it is. I think they can maybe just shrink it a little bit to where it's maybe like 1 building, and it like shrinks the fighting down a little bit. But playing more, it's not really that big of an ult in my opinion. You do see the footsteps of where they are, but that doesn't really do much when you think about it. Because if he sees where my footsteps are, my teammates' footsteps are, he could throw down his ult, and we're already on them. We're already about to down Seer. And a thing that is good about this whole thing with Seer's ult and stuff is it's starting to make Crypto a lot more accessible and usable. He's a lot more important now in this season, because Crypto's EMP is also immensely big in radius and circumference. So if you have a good Crypto main, I'm telling you, definitely play Crypto, and you see how you do, because I'm telling you, Crypto, I use him for like 1 or 2 games. He is doing really good this season. I feel like this would be the season for Crypto to start climbing the ladder of the pick rate and starting to see where he belongs. I mean, there's not a lot of Crypto mains. I know there's a few, but he's definitely weak to Crypto. That's the legend that's really good at countering Seer this season, and that's the thing that I figured out by watching, multiple videos on other people's opinions, and then what I came to my conclusion on is just that Crypto is really good to counter Seer. And his ult, if you don't know what his ult is, he throws down a piece of his chest, it's his heart, and it erupts in a giant bubble. I'm not sure, I don't exactly know the statistics of how big and how wide it is or anything like that, but if you're moving quickly through his ult, he's going to be able to see your footsteps and your exact movement pattern. He's not going to be able to see your health or your exact outline of you like he does with his tactical, but he does see your footsteps. Another good character to play is Revenant. As you all know, Revenant can crouch walk at faster speeds, and I haven't played Crypto much this season. I don't know if, because he can move faster when he crouch walks, if that counteracts the slow crouch walk movement that's necessary to counter him. But for sure, I would definitely give Revenant a try. See if you're able to move around the dome a little bit more. But it's not that good of an ult anymore. When it came out, everyone playing Seer, everyone's playing Seer. You just got eight exhibits, butterfly sanctuaries, just maneuvering around. Cap City was like going from Mars colony to Mars colony, if you will. There were just so many bubbles. You were getting spotted by someone. But thinking about it now, I think Seer's not that overpowered. He's a strong legend. He's definitely the strongest legend that has dropped on the release date and hasn't needed a buff. And I think they're talking about trying to nerf him or see something, because a lot of pros aren't happy as well with the playstyle of Seer. But I also think that Seer is perfect for new players. I see Seer as a beginner character. So if I had a new friend coming to Apex, they just got enough legend tokens to buy a character, I'm going to say, go Seer. He is a easy to use character. He is definitely a good character as well. And I just don't think Seer has as much skill requirement as, say, other legends, say Wraith, say Pathfinder, say Octane, say Bangalore. A lot of his abilities make sure that you have the advantage all times, and that every time you're in a fight, you know where they're gonna do, what they're thinking, how they're moving, and how they're playing. So I say Seer is a good beginner character. I would say that's more of what he's made for. I see him definitely being released maybe for more influx of new players, because when a lot of new players come to the game, they don't want to have to completely work, and it's hard to master some characters like Wraith and all of them. It's kind of hard. It's harder than Seer for sure. But with Seer, you kind of read his abilities and stuff, and then you just know what his abilities are. You know how to use them. It's a simple straight line with his abilities and his kit, and that's what I'm trying to say is he's good for new players in my eyes. I will probably not be playing Seer as much. I might play him sometimes, mostly in ranked, just because his abilities are needed, because everyone else is going to be running a Seer. But that's probably the only time I'm going to be playing Seer. I played him for like the first 3 days he was out, and I didn't like his abilities because his abilities were very reliant on, just it didn't feel fair to me. I don't like playing characters where it feels unfair in a fight. I don't want to play a character where it feels like, oh, I know exactly what they're gonna do. To me, that's not the game. I want to be able to have some randomness to it. I want to be able to experience the game. I want to be able to rely on my own game sense and not have a legend tell me everything I need to know. But anyways, I do think he is a good addition to the Apex Legends roster. Definitely talking about the Rampage for sure. That's one negative for sure. Like all the way. But as I was saying, before I was really interrupted by my previous self, Seer's a great addition to the new Legends roster. I do enjoy his presence in games. He has come to just be, you know, in every other match. So I mean, you just got to learn how to get used to it and play around him. And that's my 2 cents on it. I just think some things need to be tweaked, like time. Maybe shrink the dome a little bit on his ult, and it'll be alright. But I'm not going to be playing Seer that much. Anyways, that's all I have to say about Seer. He's a good legend, all-around good legend, but some things about him, like all legends, need a little bit of work. Anyways, getting into my second topic is the Rampage, as you've heard me talk about. So, as every season, you know, usually comes a new weapon. I think last season we got the bow check. Yeah, last season we got the bow check. And the season before that we got the Volt, right? Yeah, we got the Volt. And the Rampage is completely crazy in my eyes. Like I'm Seer right now. In my eyes, that is a thing stronger than Seer's eyes, is the Rampage. You're staring at down the sights of a Rampage. You are going to be breaking shields like crazy. The Rampage LMG is one of the strongest guns dropped in my, and that's just me. That's how I feel about it. It is one of the strongest weapons to drop. I think base damage it does 42. So it's kind of like a wingman. I could be wrong on that. But you go through purple shield within 2 to 3 shots. And I see that as being a little unfair. Like, a lot of people were complaining last season about the Spitfire, but I would much rather fight a Spitfire than a Rampage. And that's very controversial. Some people don't agree, and that's their opinion. But the Rampage is ridiculous. I cannot, there are so many times where I find myself in a situation crossing a field, you know, even going behind rocks. But that one shot in between, by the time I get to the 3rd rock, I am on half flesh. And, I mean, good aim on him, on the people using the gun. It's fun. It is fun to use. I did pick it up sometimes when it dropped, but it's another Spitfire situation for me. I just feel... It feels unfair. It feels broken. It feels like the Spitfire. Like the whole, if you use the Spitfire, you're a bad Apex player. That's what it feels like to me. Because I don't respect the gun. Because it doesn't take that much skill. You hit 4 shots, 5 shots, you're killing someone. And that just shows that it's not... It doesn't take that much skill, you know? It just goes to show that, I mean, as long as you can hit 5 shots, then you're going to be good. And the main problem with it is another Spitfire situation. The mag size is absurd. I think you should get like 30 shots max in the gun. Because when you sit there and you have base, I think it's like 25 or 28, something like that. That is a lot of shots for 5 bullets to knock someone. And that is impaired, and it already has very low recoil control, which is a bad thing. You can't put high damage on a no recoil gun with a big mag size. That is like the 3-step formula for disaster. And I'd hate to say it, but I am tired of gimmicks on guns. Like, the Sentinel, as we saw with the Sentinel when it was released, you have the shield cell charge, which was cool when they did it. You know, it made it unique. It was like, okay, Sentinel's the only gun that really has a gimmick. So you charge some shield cells and it's like a baby Kraber. Okay, cool. I'm down with having a gun with a gimmick to give it its own unique style. But when you start making every gun kind of look like it's going to have a gimmick in the future, it kind of makes me dread the future. And I'm still going to be playing Apex. I love this game to death. It's a love-hate relationship. I'm going to keep playing it. But the Rampage LMG is going to, I feel, need to be in the care package. And the main thing about the Rampage is it is just too strong to be floor loot. And that's just how I see it, because if a gun can do that much damage to where it downs a Gibraltar in like 4 shots, and we all know how thick Gibby is, then I think it needs to be in the care package, because that is ridiculous, you know. And you've got people with, you know, bigger hitboxes. You've got people who are new to the game just being beamed with this new weapon. And I get it, it's meta. As new seasons come and go, new metas change and everything, and I understand that. But I think the Rampage is way too strong to be floor loot. And I'm not gonna lie, it's fun to use. Sometimes it's fun to pick up, and he's down. But it's not fun to constantly have to play teams using a Rampage, or a full team using Rampages, because you're gonna go down in like 3 seconds. But I'm not gonna say I am done with Apex because of the gun. You can obviously play around any gun in Apex. You can play around any legend, and it all just comes with time. You know, it's only been a few weeks since the season dropped and everything, and I've been getting better at learning how the map works and how to play around the Rampage and Seer. So we're all good. It's a fun weapon to use. It's a cool addition to the game. We got a new LMG. I can never be angry at Respawn for giving us a new piece of equipment to use while we're slaying out. But other than that, I would like to talk a little bit about the L-Star. So this season we saw a huge rework slash buff on the L-Star. So you can now put an extended energy mag on it and a barrel. And I'm pretty sure you can put a sight all the way up to a purple T-scope. Or six times. And when I say this, I thought the Rampage was gonna be bad this season when I played my first game. The L-Star is the king of all secondaries. Let me just say that. If you run into someone with good recoil control and a gold extended mag on the L-Star, you need to Pathfinder Octane Wraith yo butt out of that POI, because that fight is gonna go down in like 2 seconds. The L-Star, as soon as it hits flesh, you're blinking. You're seeing a red light and you're gone. You're down on the ground and you're back to the respawn chamber. It is amazingly good as a secondary, as I was saying. You will find so many people using the L-Star now, and I'm all for it. I'm all for guns, you know, getting a little bit more love than what they get in previous seasons. You know, they're trying to make sure that all the guns get appropriate use time, and I'm all down for it. I agree with it. I completely am up for the challenge and up for just giving guns some love, you know, here and there. I want to be able to use all the guns and shred with all of them, hit good clips for the Twitch, get good games for the YouTube, the stream. I'm all for it. But when a gun can TTK is like purple shield to 0 in the matter of like 3 seconds, that's when I kind of start looking at it in a negative way. Because you've got to think, That is crazy. And the most the most satisfying thing this season is just beaming someone with the L star and you just see gone. Like, they're gone. I'm telling you, the TTK on this thing is like no other gun in Apex. And I'm all for guns getting, buffed to the point to where they compete with other weapons equally. But when you make a gun almost necessary as a secondary, then I kind of start to decline and digress from using it, because it's so good. And you might be going like, well, if it's so good, why don't you use it more? Energy ammo this season seems very scarce, and you need about like 250 on it, especially if you have a gold mag. You're going to be shooting for like an hour straight. And I feel like that's what really makes it broken. I'm fine with the damage, but the fact that you can shoot it for a super long period of time without reloading is what makes it crazy. Hey, add a reload animation, and do something to that, or look at the ways in which you can give it some balance so other guns have a chance. I don't want to completely have to just use the Rampage or the L-Star, if you know what I'm saying. I want to be able to use every gun in the game and be able to shred just the same with this or that. Because that's the best thing about Battle Royales, right? Is the gun variety and being able to pick up any gun and make it useful and successful. Anyway, I'm happy for the buff, and I love to see guns getting some love from the community and getting used a little bit more. I love seeing that kind of stuff. But I do think it might need somewhat of a nerf. I don't want it to go to like completely downhill back to where it never got touched. But I do want it to be balanced enough to where it can compete with the R9, but the R9 can also compete against it. So I'm all good with it being in the game and the current state. I'll adapt to it. That's what we do best as Apex players. We adapt. And it's okay. And I'll just get used to it, I mean, as we all will. It's really good. I can't be mad for people using it. They did what they did for a reason. Gotta show the L-Star some love sometimes, And I'm all down for it. If y'all want an L-Star video, I can make one. Just let me know in the comment section, and I'll be sure to get one out for you. But anyways, that's the whole L-Star portion. For the next portion, I just want to talk about the Battle Pass a little bit. I feel like the Battle Pass this season, and most seasons, aren't being thought through enough. I think the Battle Passes need a little bit more in them. For like 8 pages on the Battle Pass, or like 6, there's nothing of value within those. And I'm not saying legendary skin every page, but I'm saying add more than just one tier 100 legendary skin. Add like a sick few legendary skins in the Battle Pass. There are so many pages in the Battle Pass, and I want to be able to be like, bro, I just got this sick legendary skin. We got a new Valk skin and a new Horizon skin. They're both like bug insect theme, and that is awesome. I love the look and the designs for both of them. The Horizon one, I don't know why, I just vibe with it. It's just really nice and amazing. And the Valk skin is bright, vibrant pink. She looks like a butterfly mixed with like a fairy. I don't know what kind of Tinkerbell stuff I'm talking about right now, but it looks cool. It's new. I love it. It's refreshing. But I just think they need to add a little bit more in their battle passes. Anyway, getting on to the next topic. Apex is always gonna have ups and downs. Remember, it is a good game with bad aspects. There is never a bad game with good aspects. There are always good games with bad aspects, and you really just have to learn to adapt. That's the hardest thing about playing these like competitive style games, is you've got to be able to adapt to the meta and everything else in it. But if you guys like and enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will always be down to make commentary for you guys. I will always be sure to be here for y'all. Go check out the Twitch at TR Panda, and peace.